with that little spell of possession. His cutback drew a little bit of frustration from Mikel Arteta that he didn't manage to pick a man out in the box, because there were a few in there, so he'll be a little bit disappointed by that. But yeah, it's really promising. I think it's obviously an area they're going to exploit. If Thomas is going to be the right back and he's going to be coming inside and doing that, then yeah, they're definitely going to target the right-hand flank. And Forest just have a man down here at the minute. I think it's Niakate sort of jarred an ankle or something trying to tackle Martin Odegaard. So yeah, he's just getting a bit of treatment at the minute before we take this corner.
Just a break in play then here. Gunners 4 points behind Manchester City. Only a win keeps the title race alive. Looking for win number 26 this season. Just the one clean sheet in the last 10 in all competitions. Done up at Newcastle, of course, and that's something that an awful lot of people have been talking about. Jonathan, look, if you're going to win the title, you've got to be sharper at the back. I don't think City are watertight, but ultimately Arsenal have more or less kept on scoring. But at the back, unfortunately, we've conceded far too many.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely saw that on Sunday, which was really disappointing after the Newcastle result as well. But yeah, I think I saw a stat the other day that said that actually I think only maybe 4 or 5 other teams in the Premier League have actually conceded more at home than us, which is pretty.
Side of the 6-yard box, far post here, something a little bit different. He's played short for Trossard, who tries to curl it back inside the box. It's cleared away to the halfway line where Aaron Ramsdale is stationed. Niakate is back on, and Arsenal have it over on the left-hand side with Granit Xhaka, who's not had too many touches of the ball in the opening 15 minutes here. Xhaka will play it back. He's got a fair record against Nottingham Forest. Second ever Arsenal goal came here in a League Cup success, a 4-0 win back in September of 2016. It was the second goal in quick succession after scoring against Hull in the Premier League. Hasn't maybe been as prolific as we thought he might be, although he's having a very good season this year, of course, with 5 in the Premier League. And like a number of Arsenal players, he is yet to be on the losing side against Nottingham Forest in his career. Here is Leandro Trossard, who featured in a 0-0 draw for Brighton against Forest earlier this season. And now it's with Jorginho, who's already played against Forest here as well in his Chelsea days, a 1-1 draw earlier this campaign on the banks of the Trent. Thomas Partey looking for the movement of Trossard, right-hand side. He's got Saka with him in support. The back heel doesn't quite work out. Does it go out for a corner? Yes, it does.
Yeah, really positive there from Trossard. Made a great run there, sort of cutting across the field, and it's yielded a corner for us. So yeah, really good move from him there.
Given a bit of licence to move to this right-hand flank. Arsenal have another corner. Bukayo Saka set this one. Is it going to be short again, I wonder? Again, Arsenal with players lining up back post, but outside of the 6-yard box, and maybe looking to get a run towards that central area. Plenty of movement as the ball comes inside the 6-yard box. He's flicked to the far post. Jesus' header is over the crossbar, claiming another corner. He doesn't get it. It was a difficult chance, and he did fairly well to get it towards the goal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really get much of an opportunity there to sort of have a look at goal and manage to get on it. I think he sort of just reacted to it. It sort of just dropped to him, and he's just tried to get his head on it and just steer it towards the goal. And it's not a bad effort, but he obviously couldn't keep it down.
10 goals this season for Gabriel Jesus, 5 pre-injury, 5 posts. How would you rate Gabriel Jesus' season so far for Arsenal, Jonathan?
I think it's been great. Obviously the injury, it's been disappointing in the fact that we've sort of robbed 4 months of it away from him. But obviously the first half of the season.
Let's see what O'Neill can do here for Arsenal. It's nodded back by Ben White for Ramsdale.
Yeah, the first half of the season, obviously, he was electric and he was getting involved in everything that we did, and that's why the injury sort of came at just the wrong time for him. But since he's come back, he's sort of almost had a slightly different role. He's very obviously we've seen him dropping into midfield and getting involved in the play pretty deep, and over recent weeks he's kind of stopped doing that. Thankfully today, I think it's the best version of Gabriel Jesus when he's doing that, and he's doing it today. He's playing very deep at the moment. Odegaard's actually the furthest forward, so it'd be interesting to see if he keeps that up, and if he does, I fancy him to score a goal.
Bukayo Saka looking to take on Renan Lodi. Lodi wins that particular duel, and the ball goes out of play for a Forest throw. Just 2 wins the last 7 for the Gunners, and it's been a disappointing slide late on in the Premier League campaign, having spent some 248 days at the top of the table. Guaranteed Champions League football, of course, for the first time since the 16-17 season. That, of course, after finishing second to Leicester the previous campaign. One more game to come after this for the Gunners, and that's Wolves at home, of course. Nottingham Forest, incidentally, travel to Palace. Here is Morgan Gibbs-White. Awoniyi's calling for it and might get there. He does! And he's scored again. It's a wonderful dink over Ramsdale. That is 5 in his last, 2 and a bit. Really good finish. Showed pace and composure and just lifted the ball over the on-rushing Ramsdale. Gibbs-White was on hand to just tee up Awoniyi. That's a really good goal. And this young man is really in the form of his career, you would suggest at the moment. Well, that is 9 for the season, but having netted 2 against Chelsea and 2 against Southampton in successive games, he's on the score sheet again here.
Yeah, from an Arsenal point of view, it's really disappointing, the fact that it's just one simple, like, the ball gets, given away by us, and it's one simple ball while Gibbs-White just puts him in straight through the middle of the defence. It's a good finish. He's kept good composure there, but I think it's Jorginho trying to find Odegaard, actually, and that's the pass that saw the move break down. But yeah, Gibbs-White's obviously got so much time. He's played it straight through to Awoniyi, and he's finished it really well, just under Ramsdale. But from an Arsenal point of view, it's a very disappointing goal to concede.
Odegaard gives the ball away, as Jonathan was pointing out, and Morgan Gibbs-White, well, that's an 8th assist for the England under-21 international. He was part of that very good junior side that won the World Cup, of course, at 17s level. Emil Smith-Rowe was involved in that. Steve Cooper, of course, was the coach, and he took him from Wolves to Nottingham Forest, and he's been such a positive performer. And of course, Awoniyi gets goal number 9 this season. Former Liverpool junior who went to Germany to find his form, Nigerian international, and a player that's playing with an awful lot of confidence at the moment. You can really sense that as well. And Arsenal trail by a goal to 0. Well, the Gunners, aiming to finish the season on a high with 2 wins, suddenly find themselves with their backs against the wall, so to speak, but a goal down, and having been positive but maybe a little ponderous in advanced areas, the Gunners need to sharpen themselves up for the remainder of this fixture. There's still a long way to go this afternoon. We've got 21 minutes on the clock. Arsenal have possession. Here is Gabriel, slides it through for Jesus. Now it's with Martin Odegaard. Odegaard for Jorginho, and it's come towards Thomas Partey. Partey for Bukayo Saka. Saka up against Lodi. Can he get the cross in? Plays it back towards Partey. Partey tries to get it through. It's Jesus inside the area, takes the shot on. Easy save for Keylor Navas. Maybe the ball towards either Trossard or Odegaard was on, but Jesus, as a striker, took the shot from close range. Maybe didn't quite catch it.
No, I didn't seem to. You said all game so far, every time Jesus on the ball, there's a Nottingham Forest player right behind him, standing almost on the backs of his heels. He's very much a marked man in this game, but he's done well there to sort of wriggle free from 1 or 2 of them and get a shot away. But yeah, he's just not enough power in that one.
That's come from behind success, of course. That extraordinary game against Bournemouth back in March, a 3-2 home win. Arsenal have picked up some 16 points from losing positions this season, and they're going to have to do it again here. 5 wins, having conceded the first goal of the game on 11 occasions prior to today, but the Forest fans have been up for this since before kick-off, and Aaron Ramsdale will not be adding to his 13 clean sheets this season, and 10 away from home, which is the most in the top flight. Well, we were questioning the party atmosphere ahead of kick-off amongst the Forest supporters. Maybe they knew, Jonathan.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did. The problem with obviously conceding this goal now is that they were pretty boisterous before the game, and now they've got something to get stuck into with their team and really get behind them, because now they're in the lead. They know that they have what they need to stay up. Now they have the 1-0 lead, and if they can protect it, they'll be a Premier League team next season. So this crowd are just going to get right behind them, and yeah, I think it's very much an expectant crowd. I think they now feel like they have the tools to go and win this game.
Well, Arsenal have only failed to score in one of their 18 Premier League away matches this season. That was a 1-0 defeat up at Everton back in February. Gunners usually good for a goal. Of course, failed to score against Brighton last time out at the Emirates, having scored in the previous 17 in all competitions. And I'm sure that chances will be created for the Gunners here. We're just past the midpoint of this first half. Arsenal have possession. This is Jorginho for Ødegaard. Ødegaard controls right-hand side. Saka further right. Partey infield. Now it's with Ødegaard once again. Here is Gabriel to come forward from the centre-back position. Short to the left-hand side. And Kivior. And then Trossard gives it away, then wins it back. And then through here towards Jesus, who controls on the edge of the penalty area. He's crowded out. That's good defensive work from Felipe. And then Aurier. And then it's tapped back by Mangala. And eventually not long by Joe Worrell. And then we've got Gabriel, who was caught by Awani. And this is going to be a yellow card to the striker.
Yeah, he was just trying to be physical there and hold off Gabriel, but he's caught him in the face. It's obviously accidental. There's no sort of malice in it, but enough for the referee to give him a yellow card for that. It's obviously overly physical there with Gabriel.
Let's have a look at it. They're not monitor. Stretching back, certainly catches him in the face, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just trying to. He's just sort of. It's not a swinging arm per se. He's just sort of tried to like hold him off, but he's caught him sort of in the sort of throat chin area. So. Yeah.
It's not as if he's looking for it.
No,
it's not a sort of violent elbow, and he's taking a little glance before throwing his arm out.
You know, quite a lot of the time you don't see them give him a yellow card awarded for that by a referee. So yeah, referees have been very strong against that.
Jorginho does well to find Granit Xhaka. Xhaka left-hand side looking for Trossard. Trossard left flank moves outside of the penalty area and looks for Jorginho. Jorginho short here for Trossard once more, who will turn central position now, then rolls it over towards Martin Ødegaard. Ødegaard, Arsenal's captain, looks for Bukayo Saka. Saka against Lodi, and Saka comes in field, short for Jorginho. Jorginho will play it back towards Ødegaard. Ødegaard prods it forward for Thomas Partey. Partey wins a corner, I think. Does it ricochet back up off Thomas Partey? It will be a flag kick. The assistant on this near side just waits for Anthony Taylor to point towards this near side. So Bukayo Saka gets ready to take this one on. Ødegaard is across if Saka wants to take it short, and again Arsenal load up far post, something a little bit different we've seen in this game so far. Nobody near post at all, no one on the penalty spot. There will be a bit of movement towards that goal though. Ben White is on the keeper, and it comes to the edge of the penalty area. Trossard with a strike wide of the target. Well, that was well worked, and Trossard, looking to steer it through a crowded 6-yard box, sees his effort go wide.
Yeah, for me, I think he should do better there. I think it's a very clever corner routine that's managed to pick him out in absolutely acres of space, and it just sits up, and maybe it just sits up a little bit too high for him, but he does scuff the shot. He gets the timing wrong, and that's eventually what's put it wide of the mark. But we've had some interesting corner routines in this game so far, so it's obviously an area that we've decided that we can potentially exploit, but yeah, not quite come off so far.
Yeah, just a 1 goal for Arsenal, as we know, coming against Brentford. 7 goals for Brighton, of course, this season, and 10 assists all told for the 2 clubs that he's played for. He's been assist king, of course, for the Gunners since moving to North London. 8 Premier League assists for the Belgian, 3 shy of Bukayo Saka. Here is Partey, and now it's with Jorginho, and eventually to Ødegaard. Saka just moved infield. Ødegaard plays it back towards Partey, and Lodi is chasing it down. And now White to the halfway line. Forest with the highest line, a very defined back 5 out of possession. Here is Jesus to turn. Oh, he's done well there. Looks to flick it towards Ødegaard. Jesus has it again. Turns once more. Gets the shot away over the crossbar. Well, it's all hustle and bustle from Gabriel Jesus, and I don't mind him. He's getting into some good positions here, some neat combination play.
Yeah, he's been very heavily man-marked as well, very physical up against him. There's always somebody like pushing him in the back or sort of kicking away at his feet whilst he's trying to get shots away. So, but he'll thrive on that. I've seen all season, he's a real scrapper up there. He's not afraid of the fight. He's pretty resilient, and yeah, he's just going to keep going. He just needs to. Perhaps he hasn't had a clear-cut opportunity so far. He's had 3 or 4 half chances. So yeah, just waiting for one to fall for him.
Handball is a cry from the Nottingham Forest supporters, and they get their wish of a free kick. Aston with 5 defeats in all competitions on their travels, the last against City. Prior to that, of course, against Everton. Jorginho penalised on this occasion. And a free kick about 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. Good 15 in from the touchline on the right-hand side, and Morgan Gibbs-White is standing over this as Arsenal push to a good 4 or 5 yards outside of their own penalty area here, looking to condense the play. As Morgan Gibbs-White raises 2 arms, that's the signal, and it's gone towards Felipe, but the referee is not happy with something. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. I'm not quite sure what he's giving it for, but I'm not too concerned.
Again, it was just a bit of overly pushing and shoving there in the box as the free kick was coming in. Forest have obviously trying to really get at us and get physical and put us under lots and lots of pressure. But yeah, obviously there's been a couple of occasions where it's been a little bit too much.
Arsenal winning the reverse fixture, as we mentioned. Of course, Nottingham Forest beating Arsenal last season when they were a championship side in the FA Cup. Haven't beaten Arsenal in the league at home since December '96, but we've seen a couple of FA Cup wins for Forest here in recent years, in 2018 and of course last year. Here is Jesus to get the cross into the right-hand side. It's cleared away by Joe Worrell. Here is Partey, who goes down, and it's picked up by Renan Lodi. Here is Saka to win it back. Then he's brought down. That's going to be a free kick. Mangala, the player, penalised. Saka's gone down clutching an ankle.
Yeah, again that's just another attack that's been going down the right-hand side. In this game, we've barely seen the likes of Kivior and Granit Xhaka because the ball just hasn't been on the left-hand side of our field. Everything we've done is always been through the right-hand side, aiming for Bukayo. Even now, every time we get the ball in the middle, whilst the option is there to pass to the left flank, we're just not taking it. We're adamant we're going on this right-hand side. So it's obviously something that they want to exploit.
Strange, isn't it? Because there seems to be so many opportunities where Kivior and Trossard are free, and Xhaka. Trossard has come across quite an awful lot. Xhaka's hardly been involved in the game because he's stationed on that left flank. Free kick to Nottingham Forest. The Forest players complaining to Anthony Taylor that a card should be given here, but that's not going to be the case. Lodi, the player that's gone down, no caution offered, thankfully, from the referee. Bukayo Saka. It's a little late and it's a little lazy, and Bukayo's picked up 6 cautions this season. Should that have been another one?
It could have been. Yeah, it looked like a little bit of frustration.
Prods it forward, central position for Trossard. Now it's with Ben White once again, as Jonathan's pointed out. Overload on the right-hand side, potentially for Arsenal. So many black shirts buzzing around the right flank. Jesus, Ødegaard. Now it's with Saka, right-hand side. Flicks it in for Ødegaard. Ødegaard looking here for Jorginho, back for Jesus. Jesus outside the penalty area now. He's tracked by 2 Forest players, and he comes back towards the halfway line. Good play from the likes of Felipe and Danilo to keep out the Brazilian. Here is Trossard, though, for Arsenal, who do eventually play it over to the left-hand side, but it's not there for long because Gabriel immediately turns and finds Jorginho. And now it's with Ben White. White forward for Jesus. Jesus loses out, and it's Mangala who turns and plays it to the left-hand side, and now Danilo's on the move. Danilo looking to get away from Ben White. That's good defensive work. Interesting character, Danilo. He was a player that was linked with Arsenal not so long ago, just 22, signed from Palmeiras, the Brazilian side, in January for some £16 million. Jorginho has it through towards Jesus, just can't back in to Felipe and create an opportunity for himself. That physical battle continues. It is astonishing that Arsenal aren't using that left flank. I always look at those heat maps sometimes and the areas of attacking play and wonder, is it worth looking at them? Well, this one might be, mightn't it?
This one is very interesting when you look at it, and it's something that's clearly obvious when you see this game, is the fact that Trossard is barely playing. It's almost like an inverted winger. He's playing so centrally. He's playing almost as a number 10 behind Gabriel Jesus all the time. But then you've also got Odegaard in there, like right behind him as well. So, yeah, you know, obviously Gabriel Martinelli's missing today. Maybe that's something that they've decided we'll mix it up a bit because we don't have that option. We've not even played a switch pass from right to left all game.
Awoniyi looks to get in here and might get there. He's away from Ramsdale. Is he not quite? Ramsdale does well. The flag is up anyway. And that's going to be a free kick with an offside going in Arsenal's favour. He showed a lot of pace, Awoniyi, didn't he? Yeah,
he was on that like a flash. Ramsdale did pretty well, actually. If it hadn't been offside, he'd done just enough to make sure that he wasn't going to go. He wasn't going to dribble around him. So, yeah, it's good reactions there from Aaron. But again, it's another warning sign that we cannot let Forest on the counter attack, because you know, with Gibbs White and Awoniyi, they are going to punish us.
Click forward towards Trossard on the left-hand side, and it's a corner, but the flag is up. Trossard wandering across to take the corner, realises that one hasn't been given. Well, we've got 10 minutes to go until half-time. Nottingham Forest lead Arsenal by a goal to nil. It's the Gunners' final away game of the season. And should Arsenal lose here, Manchester City can celebrate the title city through to the Champions League final, of course, after beating Real Madrid in midweek. They've got an FA Cup final against Manchester United as well, coming their way in early June. It's a real close call, you know, that offside situation. Obviously, the flag went up and play stopped. If it had scored and VAR would have got involved, I'm not quite sure which way it would have gone, you know.
Yeah, it did look like he might have been being played on there by Ben White. It's one of those where, you know, it would have been a toenail in it or something like that, but it looked a lot closer on the replay than perhaps the linesman thought.
Partey for Arsenal, right back position. Now it's with Jorginho, right central, plays it back towards Gabriel. Can Arsenal grab a leveller before the half is up? 9 minutes to try and do so, as Granit Xhaka takes a touch over on the left-hand side for a change. Now it's with Trossard, and Xhaka has it again. He's got Kivior with him, short towards Ben White, and Arsenal once again move the ball from left to right. Odegaard, Partey, Saka all calling for it. Partey gets the touch back towards Ben White. Nottingham Forest backing themselves here to keep the Gunners out. Only managed 7 clean sheets so far this season, but 5 of those 7 have come at home. Here is Jorginho over to the left-hand side, and Kivior. And eventually it's towards Gabriel, and now Ben White. White centrally forward for Saka. Saka under pressure, loses out to Danilo, who's clever feet, can't get him away from Arsenal's number 7, and Odegaard picks up a stray ball. Now it's with Saka again, cuts back inside on his left and then gives it away, and then the spin from Mangala doesn't quite come off. Play continues. No, it doesn't. Arsenal a bit unlucky there, I think.
Yeah, it didn't look like a free kick to me. I think the referee just, I don't know. Looking at it again, yeah, it's just not a free kick. I just think he's almost brought that from the crowd. I think they were baying for one, because yeah, Thomas has actually done really well there to hold off the challenge, but he gets penalised for it.
Forest lead, and only on 7 previous occasions from 17 occasions that they've scored the first goal on, if they've gone on to win. They've given up points on 10 other fixtures, and certainly not one to completely rely upon in situations like this, but they have been better recently, as we've seen. Obviously the entire seasonal stats are trotted out, but they have been better. Here is Mangala, gives it away, and Saka down the line, toe pokes it for Jesus, but Felipe is there, and he will play it all the way back for Keylor Navas, Costa Rican international who played his nation's games in the World Cup finals. Here is Worrell, and now it's with Ryan Yates. Yates back towards Navas once again. Just the 1 clean sheet for him since moving from Paris Saint-Germain, incidentally. He's a very good keeper. Oh, that's a decent ball for Morgan Gibbs-White from Awoniyi. But Gibbs-White just can't keep up the gallop over on that right-hand side and has to go back towards the halfway line, play the ball towards Felipe, and Felipe with Niakate. Here is Danilo. Now it's with Ødegaard. Good challenge from White. Ødegaard goes down. Arsenal still have possession, though, with Xhaka, and eventually back towards Aaron Ramsdale. 6 minutes to go until the break. Arsenal looking for this equaliser. And Granit Xhaka with the ball at his feet at the moment. Knocks it back towards Jorginho, towards the halfway line. More of the pitch in cover now as the sun begins to go down. Navas has got the ball at his feet at the moment. Nominal pressure from Jesus as Navas picks the ball up. 36 now, Kelly Navas. Be interesting to see what his future is, whether he stays at Nottingham Forest. Very good keeper for a long time. Long punt forward, but he's got so much distance on that. It bounces twice and goes to his opposite number. Arsenal start again from the back. Ben White looking for the run of Granit Xhaka. Felipe will shepherd this one back. Another Brazilian, signed from Atletico Madrid, with a January signing as well. So many players have come in, completely transformed from the side that won the Championship playoff final last season, beating Huddersfield, of course, in the final. Only fourth in the second tier last term. It was going to be heavy investment, but it looks like it's going to pay off. Stuck with Steve Cooper. Owner's done well in that sense, and the fans are behind the team 100%, as well as the coach. Throw in here for Forest. And it's Yates to take. One of those who did play last season. Came through the youth ranks here. Niakate has been asked to come and take, as is the way with the long throws here for Forest. Long to the edge of the 6-yard box. Ramsdale comes and claims. Of course, one or two issues with the long throws, not on that occasion. Here is Partey. Jorginho. Saka round the corner for Jesus. Saka wants it back. Here is Bukayo Saka. Angle of the box on the right-hand side. Goes down. Then Aloni wins the ball back fairly. And then punts it long for Awoniyi. But it's headed down by White, and now Jorginho has it. Ødegaard takes a touch away from Jesus. Now it's with Saka. No one's central at the moment. Saka holds it up. Edge of the area, still has it. Looks to try and thread it through. Keylor Navas comes and punches. It's not the tallest, is he, Navas? Now it's with Partey. And eventually Saka again. Better pressure here from Arsenal. Right-hand side, clip through for Thomas Partey. Gets to the byline. Can he pull it back? He can. It's not the worst ball in, but it's thumped away by Morgan Gibbs-White. Arsenal maybe should have done better with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the move actually started. Granit Xhaka was in 25, 30 yards of space, screaming for the ball on the left-hand side, but once again, it's just completely been ignored. The ball's gone out to the right, where there's so many more players. And whilst it was, you know, it comes to nothing again, it's just, again, odd that we're not utilising that space on the left-hand side.
Jorginho. Now it's with Ben White. 2 minutes to go until the break. A little bit better from Arsenal in terms of possession in dangerous areas. Ødegaard. Short here for Jorginho. Jorginho for Saka again on the right flank. Saka on his left side, and then back on his right, and his left once again curls towards the far post. There's no one there. And again, I don't think it's the worst ball in, but because we've neglected that left-hand side pretty much all half, there's no one rushing in as Martinelli might have been. Nope,
absolutely not. I mean, just looking at the stats at the minute, we've got over 81% possession. but I think every time we've had the ball in that final third, the final pass has not been good enough. The one that actually gets somebody in with a clear shot on goal. All the crossing has not found a man. The little passes in haven't quite worked. I think that's definitely something that Mikel Arteta will be pretty frustrated with in this first half, is that we've had plenty of possession, plenty of territory, but ultimately haven't done anything with it.
Kenan Everson is struggling at the moment. Maybe it was a legacy of when he came to Punch. Was he caught after that? No, but needs some treatment here. Wayne Hennessy is on the bench for Nottingham Forest if required. Incidentally, he has played a couple of times in the league this season, and the competition as well. Of course, it's worth pointing out that Nottingham Forest did get through to the semi-finals of the League Cup this season. Were beaten 5-0 on aggregate by Manchester United, home and away defeats. Knocked out very early on from the FA Cup, beaten by Blackpool 4-1. But that was when they were into the semi-finals of the League Cup, or into the quarter-finals at least, I should say, and obviously felt that they had to concentrate on their league performances as well as the secondary cup competition. Couldn't quite challenge on three fronts. 4 minutes of added on time at the end of the first half. Navas, I think he's okay to continue. He's had a little bit of treatment, but he's still bending over at the moment. Throw in for Forest, and again it's long-range territory, and Niakate is going to launch this one inside the Arsenal penalty area. The last one wasn't great, and it comes once more. Yates looks to flick it on. It's cleared away by Gabriel back towards Niakate on the right-hand side, who recycles here, and then it's knocked inside the area, but again it's blocked. Not the best delivery from Aurier in that occasion. Might get a third go here. No, they don't. Jesus is back, and Arsenal have it through Partey. Lifts it forward for Trossard, but even if he could get to that, he's up against two Forest players. There's been a bit of a disconnect. It's been disjointed from Arsenal.
Very much so. I don't know if that's sort of the change in personnel at the back line contributing to that, or just the fact that perhaps the game plan isn't quite working. But yeah, it's been a pretty disappointing half. I think there's a lot more to come from us in the second half, but yeah, yellow card there.
Who's this to? Aurier?
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure for what for. He was sort of...
Not Aurier, Niakate?
Time wasting? I think it must be time wasting, taking too long over the throw.
Well, it is Moussa Niakate that gets the yellow card. French ball made his debut for Senegal just earlier this year. Wasn't part of the World Cup squad. He did play for the French under-21s a few years ago. Here is Kivior. And we've had nearly 2 minutes of the added on 4. And now Gabriel. So two Forest players in the book now, Niakate and Awani. Ben White. Partey. White again. Partey, right-hand side. Midpoint of the Forest half, right flank, just a yard in from the touchline. Arsenal then work it through a couple of centre-halves back for Kivior on the left flank, and it's back in field for Gabriel. Arsenal patient, but they're going to have to get the hurry up on here because the half-time whistle's about to go. Partey. Everybody for Forest behind the ball at the moment. Here is Jorginho, turns away from Mangala. Here is Gabriel. And eventually, Partey once more. Forest are backing themselves to keep the gunners out. Quite happy to let the likes of White and Gabriel and Kivior have possession. 40 yards or so away from the Forest goal. Here is Partey, who can inject a little bit of pace, creativity and passion even here for Arsenal. It's Saka. Now it's with Partey, it's Ødegaard. The flick doesn't come off. It's cleared away by Lodi, only as far as Ben White. White for Saka against Lodi. He's done well against Bukayo Saka so far. It's an Arsenal throw. 45 seconds or so remaining of this half. Partey throws it down. Ben White back towards Partey once more. Here is White. Now it's with Jorginho. Jorginho towards Partey again. Might be able to get in here, Thomas Partey. Cleared away. Saka. This is it. Last chance before the whistle goes, I reckon. 3 far post, if Saka can spot any of them. A twist and a turn, back on his right side. Does get the crossing, wins a corner. Last act of a first half that has Forest leading. Mikel Arteta is not going to be happy about his side's performance in the opening 45. Might be happier if Arsenal can conjure something here. Saka, far post, edge of the area is Trossard. And it's over the crossbar, and that's the last act of a first half. Arsenal trail at the break here, Jonathan. The goal from Awani from Gibbs-White is assist, neat finish. Arsenal, as you just suggested, had all of the ball, all the possession, but clear-cut opportunities have evaded us.
Yeah, literally, you see that period of play in the previous 2-3 minutes. It's just 2 or 3 red walls just in front of it all the time. It's so congested, it's so difficult for us to pass through. You'd think that switching the ball from flank to flank and stretching them as wide as you possibly could would be the option, but we've just not gone for it, and I guess we will see in the second half that that's something that Mikel Arteta will change.
All of the possession, no penetration. It is Nottingham Forest that lead at the City ground as we hand you back to Adi and Nick back at the Emirates. After 45 here, it's Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0.
Yeah, thank you very much, boys. Yeah, Adrian Clark with me here at the Emirates. Not the first 45 minutes we wanted. It's not been good from an Arsenal perspective.
Yeah, not good at all. No, really disappointing. Desperately disappointing. You know, this is still an important game. We want to force Manchester City to go out and win it rather than just gift it to them today. But we've not. We've looked imbalanced, I think, as a team. I think that's the overriding feeling, that we're very lopsided. The boys on commentary bang on with their analysis in terms of the way we're just veering to the right every single time. So I think the shape of the team is a bit odd. And those partnerships that we've built up over the course of the season that have been so successful have kind of been broken up a little bit by the shape of the team today, and I think that's impacted us. So, yeah, not good. A bad goal to give away, lacked penetration. It's been, yeah, difficult to really pick out too many positives from that first 45.
Yeah, we did talk about the starting lineup and how Mikel was trying something different.
Yep.
And it's good to try different things, but I think the evidence suggests that it's not worked very well at all. The partnership's definitely something worth talking about. Thomas Partey and Bukayo Saka, it's not really working.
It's not a partnership, is it? It's White and Saka is your partnership, but they're too far away from each other. White's at centre half today, and I don't think Partey's really offering a great deal from right back. You know, when you Zinchenko's at left back, playing that sort of in to out role, he's always on the ball, he's linking, he's probing, he's comfortable with it. But I think Thomas is sort of having to compute it because it's all so unusual to him, and it's nothing's coming naturally. When Saka gets the ball, I feel he's a bit isolated. It's like, well, go on then, Bukayo, what are you going to do? And he's got no one coming around him, not really too much support, no one to link with. So, yeah, down the right, even though we've had a lot of the ball, I can't remember too many good bits of combination play. There was one, I think it was Trossard that just flicked one in for Saka by the byline. But other than that, not a lot really. Yeah. So, yeah, great frustration. I think, personally, I think Mikel Arteta will change it.
Yeah.
Half-time, I think he has to concede defeat with plan A and say, look, that was an idea. We tried it. It hasn't worked. Let's go back to something a little bit more that we're used to.
Yeah, it's really noticeable as well that when Bukayo Saka kind of does get a little bit of time on the ball, he's crowded out. It's 3-on-1 because he doesn't have his mate down there kind of making a run, just putting a doubt in the defender's mind.
You're looking for those little 1-2s, aren't you? You want little 1-2s around the corner. And White's your guy, or Odegaard. And Odegaard has probably had a quiet half.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had quite a lot of touches, but no space. There's just no space. So Forest are very deep. They've had less than 20% of possession. I think it's been sort of almost 81.5% possession to 18.5%. It's crazy. And there's just zero space between the lines. So it's almost no point Ødegaard standing between the lines when it's that tight. What you've got to do is go, as the boys were saying in commentary, go from side to side that bit quicker. So if I was to ping the ball out to the left, that unit has to, they all have to go there. And as they come over there, we can pass it inside and then there's a gap.
Yeah.
You know, it's about pulling that back five open. In order to slide someone in. At the moment, everything's in front and we can't find a way through. We're looking, but there's nothing there. You've got to sometimes go that way to then come inside and go and get at them.
And they're going to sit deep, especially because they're 1-0 up now, and you know you can't blame them for that. Right, we should talk about the goal, and just before we get your thoughts on it, it was a bad goal to concede, and lots of people talking about it online, of course. Now Arsenal here saying started well, silly goal to concede. Luckily we've got time, we've got 45 minutes now. This one here from Shamsdale says a lot of overreaction to that goal. Ødegaard had a bad giveaway and they hit us on the counter. Honestly, a pretty unlucky goal given that Gabriel beat Awantini to the ball. It happens, especially when testing out a new system, have to dust ourselves off and respond.
Very measured, yeah.
And this one from Liam says, so unlucky for Gabriel, as well as good defending to get there, and some unlucky bounces haven't gone his way. Yeah, it's worth saying that Gabriel made the tackle. Yeah. That's what's so frustrating about it. He made the tackle, he got there, but he kicked it into Awoniyi's leg. Whilst he was actually going for the shot, so it was like a double whammy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it worked well for Awoniyi. It looked like a good finish, didn't it, at first? But yeah, it came off Gabriel onto his foot as he's sort of swinging through. But look, how's he got there? And that's the question. And I talked about it ahead of kick-off. I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest. It's losing the ball in the middle of the pitch.
And we gave it away as well. It wasn't even tackled.
Yeah, look at how many goals that we've given away in the second half of the season in the middle of the pitch where teams have transitioned on us and countered. You know, it's happened so often. Unfortunately, it's happened with Martin giving the ball away a couple of times as well. I remember one at City, and there was one other one. And today, it's just a really sloppy backward pass. When you play a backward pass in the centre of the pitch, or even a sideways pass, you've got to be so careful, Nick, because one interception, and then they're away because so many people are ahead of the ball. Just the way we play, we push bodies forward. So if you go square or backwards and lose it, you're taking out 8 players because they're all ahead of the ball. They can't get back. So that's what happened. Brilliant counter by Gibbs-White, runs down the heart of the pitch. It's a perfectly timed slip pass for Awoniyi, who makes a good run, actually. It's excellent movement. And then Gabriel's unlucky.
Yeah.
But look, it's a very avoidable goal. We've got to look after the ball better. You know, Forest, we're always going to play on the counter. We've got to make sure that we don't get done again because it could happen.
Yeah,
it could easily happen because we're going to have to go for it. They will be a real threat on the counter, and they haven't even got Brennan Johnson on yet. It was the quickie.
Yeah. You picked out Awoniyi as the danger man, and you were proved right there with that goal. That's for sure.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. We should talk about corners because we've had quite a lot of corners in this game. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do unusual
attempts at corners as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're trying something different there. We can see Charles Watts here, Jesus with a header that floated onto the top of the bar from a corner. Arsenal have dominated possession for the past 10 minutes after that quick Forest start of the game. It's now mainly being played in the Forest half. Yeah, that's why we've had so much possession, as you touched on there. Leah here saying Jesus heads over from
that was from a near post flick. It came off a defender.
First glimmer. It's from Adam, actually. And then this one here saying Mariankus blessing himself before the Arsenal
Forest owner,
Yeah, well, I saw him. He kind of did that. He says, I get it, mate. I get it.
Well, we're pretty good at corners, obviously. We're one of the most successful teams from corners. And as I said ahead of kickoff, they've got they've actually got the worst expected goals against from corners. They've conceded quite a lot of goals from corners. For me, against a team like that, I want to actually swing it in under the crossbar. What we've done is innovate, and we've gone for some really unusual ones. There was one really clever one, I've got to say, where it found Trossard free on the edge of the box. It was brilliant because we deliberately pinned their whole defence into the sort of 8 yards around the goal. Everyone was there, and we knew that Trossard was on the edge of the box to receive the sort of ball that was coming. And he volleys it just wide. We tried it again just at the end there. I'm all for innovation, but I also think against a team like Forest, who are weak at defending corners, swing it under the bar and ask them questions.
We know that's what you like as well, because you've said it.
It's the
you know,
percentage corner.
Yeah, it's
you're
interesting because against Brighton, sorry to jump in, but against Brighton, obviously they got you know, big guys at the back, so I can understand trying something different, especially because our guys are all quite little, I guess, you know. But against a team like Forest, as you say, where they've struggled, the percentage corner
I've said this
is the
before.
winner.
I've said something like this before. If you were to swing 100 corners in that are fancy training ground routines, you might score 2. If you were to swing 100 corners in to the near post, looking for a flick on for someone to come on the back, you probably score 8 or 9, if not 10.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a percentage corner. Sometimes it's good to mix things up and try something new, catch them on the hop. But it's like we're going through our whole repertoire.
Yeah. Every corner's different today,
exactly.
Isn't it?
And it's like it's almost wasted because this isn't a team that like defending what I'd call standard corners.
Yeah. Right, let's just run through some of the stats from the first half. Actually, we can see here. Just talk us through what we're seeing here.
This is your average position map. So we're kicking from right to left. Basically, look where Granit Xhaka is. It's pretty much playing left back.
Yeah.
As is Kivior. Neither of those have had any touches. Really. Well, they have had touches, but those are the outfield players with the fewest touches. Granit Xhaka and Kivior. Basically, they've offered nothing inside the opposition half. Everything's going down the right. You see Thomas, you can see Ødegaard and Saka, you know, flooded with the ball really down that side. It's a lopsided system right now, just the way that we're playing it.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. So this is the direction of our attacks. I mean, those arrows tell the story. 66.8% down the right. 13.4% down the left. Look, if I'm Trossard, you know, I'm thinking, you know, can I have a kick here? Well, this is Trossard. And this map tells you all you need to know. Because he's out on the left and he's thinking, I'm not getting a kick here. So what does he do? He comes across and he comes into the middle and he even ends up on the right. I don't mind him doing that, but it's actually sort of accentuating the problem because he's getting frustrated because he's not getting a touch. So he's coming over, which means we've really got nobody out on the left to hit when he comes inside. You know, Granit Xhaka's nominally over there, but not involved. So, yeah, totally imbalanced in that first half. It hasn't worked from a tactical point of view. And I think that Mikel Arteta must be considering changing it.
It's funny, you know, you say that about Trossard because there was points in that first half where we looked at it and Kivior was like over on the left completely on his own, you know, and he's not exactly a player known for you know lung busting runs up the line.
I was a bit worried when I saw the way that we set it up. I don't think we'd talked about Partey at right back. I think that was like down, you know, third or fourth choice on our list.
And you can see why, because I mean, it's not exactly been, you know, great.
But the reason I don't really like what we've done is that we've moved 3 players out of the back 4. You've gone Kivior centre back to left back. It's a change. You've got White right back to centre back. It's a change. You've got Thomas Partey centre midfield to right back. So you've got 3 players playing in positions they haven't been familiar with. And of course, we know that familiarity has been the key to our success really this season. So it does surprise me the way we've set up. It doesn't surprise me that we look disjointed because everything is a bit new. Half of the team are in new positions with different players around them. So yeah, I'd prefer it, I've got to say, if we reverted something closer to what we normally do. But we'll have to wait and see. It's easy for us to say here. You know, down there in the heat of battle, is Mikel Arteta seeing it the same way? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, now's an opportunity to make tweaks, I guess. Is the most obvious one Thomas to come out of right back for you, or?
Probably. I mean, it's a pick'em as to who would come off. I've got to say, I would like to see like an Emile Smith-Rowe come on. I just would like to see him given a chance to shine, or Eddie, you know, chuck on Eddie Nketiah, just to give him plenty of time to make an impact in the game. And we are short of attacking options. I think one of Thomas Partey, Jorginho, Xhaka could come off. I think that's what I'm looking at. Based on what I've seen in the first half, I'd probably take off Xhaka because he's been so much on the edge of the game. But look, there are decisions to make. one thing's for sure, we've got to have better movement. We've got to switch play much faster. We've got to drag players out of position easier. I'd just like us to mix up our play. It's been too predictable, too much in front of Newcastle, where they've crowded us out.
And the onus is going to be on us, really, isn't it?
Totally.
Because, you know, they've got the lead here. They will be looking on the break, but, you know, they're going to sit back and it's going to be down to us to break them down.
And they're very good on the break, as we saw for the goal, and this is how they play. I mean, they don't want to play this way. He wants to have more of the ball, Cooper, but against teams that are better than them, this is what he does. He'll sit, they'll win it, and then they'll go. And, you know, Morgan Gibbs-White, as we saw, very good on those turnovers. Danilo, who I was talking about, has been quite quiet. Wouldn't surprise me if Brennan Johnson came on. He's very good on the counter.
Did he score against us in the cup game?
I think he was the one. Oh, no, he assisted it, I think.
Yeah.
I think he
I remember he was a thorn in our side, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he charged down the right and crossed it in for Yates, I think. Graben it was, yeah, Graben. So, yeah, look, it's not gone to plan. And I think we need to look at our tactics, look at our approach here and try something else in the second half and show a little bit more fire in our bellies as well, because we've meandered our way through that half. Do you not think?
Yeah.
I feel like there's no real tempo to it.
And I think you know, just what's happened this season, maybe in the last few weeks, could be a symptom that's caused that.
Yeah, I think we've taken a few punches to the stomach. We're winded, aren't we? If you want an analogy, we're a little bit winded. We're not feeling at our best, but you've got to sort of suck it up and go again, haven't you? You've got to, you know, play for the badge, play for the fans, get the maximum points we can, and make Manchester City go out and have to win the title rather than winning it in their living rooms tonight. It would feel a bit of a letdown after everything that we've done this season, all the brilliant performances. If we were to go down meekly 1-0 today, I think it would be a real shame.
Yeah, right. Clarkie, thank you very much, mate. Back at full time, hopefully celebrating 3 points. We'll see if the boys can turn it around. We've got 45 minutes to do so, back in the company of Jonathan and Dan.
He is, isn't he? Welcome back. The Forest players are a little late in coming out from the tunnel in the dressing room, just about onto the pitch now. But the Forest fans are absolutely loving this. They know that a win will keep them in the Premier League. For Arsenal, well, it's just not worked, Jonathan. Whatever the plan was, it's not been implemented properly, or they're not capable of it, or it's just the wrong plan.
Absolutely. When you look at the stats at half-time, you can tell it definitely is a concerted effort to play on the right-hand side. 62% of all the attacks that we've had in this half, in the first half, were down that side, compared to just 16% on the left. When you look at where Granit Xhaka was during the game, he's basically in the same position as Jaco Kivior at left back. So it just goes to show that, you know, there was a game plan. Whether we will keep sticking to it, we don't know. But so far, everyone's lined up in the same positions and they are attacking the right-hand side again. So maybe it's just keep going and see if we've fine-tuned it slightly.
Underway for the second half then here. Nottingham Forest lead by 1-0. Arsenal have possession from the get-go. Xhaka tries to flick it round the corner. It's cleared away by Yates. Awoniyi looking to muscle his way beyond Jorginho. He's done well. Now it's with Morgan Gibbs-White, who just puts his foot on the ball for a second, tries to play Yates in. The referee has given a free kick here for something that happened in the build-up there that I didn't quite spot. Was it holding on Awoniyi?
Possibly. Maybe I think it was against Jorginho for initially trying to hold up Awoniyi as he was trying to push past him, and I think he tried to play a little bit of an advantage, but obviously came to nothing. So, yeah, because Jorginho and Gabriel actually, Gabriel grabbed him as well. Yeah. So, yeah, he was playing the advantage there.
So free kick, central position, but we're some distance out here. 30 yards, maybe a little bit more. Ramsdale has got the sun in his eyes in this second half. Wonder whether he might try and get a baseball cap, you know, covering his eyes at the moment. Forest with an opportunity potentially here. It's some distance. And we've got the Arsenal wall of 3, and then behind that we've got a Forest wall, which is a bit unusual, or Forest wall of sorts. Now suddenly another player in that Arsenal wall. Gives White to cut it towards the left-hand side, and it's done it back inside the 6-yard area. It's cleared away. Yates threw himself at that. It's come back out towards Lodi, who will play to the near post. It's come back out to the edge of the area, edge of the 6-yard box. Felipe's swing didn't quite connect with that, I don't think. The big centre-half, he got something on it, but not as much as he wanted. It's a corner.
Yeah, he sort of scuffed his way at it, but I mean, it was a terrible defensive header from one of our players that actually put it back into the danger area as they were trying to clear. Looks like a number of Forest players were actually offside there in the initial delivery, but yeah, eventually we get away with it. But yeah, at the moment it's a corner.
In comes the corner to the near post, more orthodox this time around. It's cleared behind for another flag kick. Just looking at some of the Arsenal players warming up down below us to our left at the minute. And maybe we will see some changes sooner rather than later. Another corner, right-hand side, towards the far post, and Ramsdale comes and spills and then manages to grab it at the second attempt. I think he might need a cap for the second half. It's not got to be easy, is it?
You never see it anymore, do you?
Not
Never
really.
see goalkeepers with caps. He's rather just shielding his eyes. But yeah, it's very sunny here today, and you can see a lot of the spectators behind that goal are literally shielding their eyes from the sun with their arms. So I'm surprised that Aaron hasn't got a cap out at the moment.
Yeah, about 3/5 of the pitch in shade now. We started with about 1/5. Here is Trossard for Arsenal, edge of the Forest penalty area. Looks to curl it over towards Kivior. Kivior plays it forward for Jesus. Left-hand side for a change. Jesus, left flank, plays it back towards Jakob Kivior. Kivior left-footed infield for Jorginho. Jorginho towards Ben White, central position. White comes forward. Now it's with Ødegaard. Ødegaard looking here for Thomas Partey. Partey infield for Trossard. Trossard has possession, looks to play it towards Jesus. He's cleared away by Aurier. And then Awani tries to knock it down for Gibbs White, but Arsenal have it again. Here is Jakob Kivior, left-hand side. Kivior plays it in field, looks for Trossard. Trossard's touch is a little heavy. Forest have it and try and work it away. They do okay. This is Awani. Now it's with Gibbs White. Awani's gone again. It's going to be a throw to Forest. He doesn't look like a natural left-back at all, does he, Jakob Kivior, when he gets in advanced areas?
No, he's played there quite a few times in his career for, I think his last game for Poland was actually at left-back. So it is something that perhaps, he perhaps has put his hand up to say that he can do. But yeah, we play such attacking football with the flanks, with like Zinchenko and Tierney as well, that actually, it's, maybe Jakob isn't comfortable going forward as much as those two are, and I think it is sort of showing in this in the first half particularly.
Saka for Arsenal from Partey's ball. Up against Mangala. Still Bukayo Saka. 4 Forest players around him at the moment. Arsenal's number 7 decants to Ødegaard. Ødegaard on his left side, moving from right to left. Finds Jakob Kivior. Kivior into the final third. Plays it back for Jorginho. Central position. Jorginho looks to his right. Still has possession. Still coming forward. Rolls it over towards Thomas Partey. Partey angle of the box. Now it's with Ødegaard. Takes a tight ball to control, finds it again, looks for Saka. Now it's with Jorginho, out for Ben White. White for Thomas Partey once more. Right-hand side, still Arsenal looking for a way through on the right flank. This is White for Jesus inside the area, looks to try and turn. It's Ødegaard that gets the touch. It comes up into the air and out for a goal kick. Well, that was a little quicker maybe from Arsenal.
Yeah, a little bit quicker, but again, it's just every time the ball comes into Gabriel Jesus, he's got 2 or 3 defenders instantly around him. It's just, normally we see him try and wriggle out of those positions, but he's just not really getting the joy today. And yeah, Forest really are just putting the squeeze on us every time we get in that final third. His body's behind the ball, just getting into us, and it's proving very, very difficult for us to break it down.
As it stands, Forest will be a Premier League side next season if they can hold on to this 1-0 advantage. Worrell punts it long. Kivior with a header. And now it's Xhaka back towards Ben White. And also Manchester City will be crowned champions if the scoreline stays as it is. Ben White comes forward, striding to the halfway line. Centre-right position into enemy territory. The former Brighton player knocks it forward for Ødegaard. Now it's with White once again. Here is Xhaka. It's popped up on the right flank himself now. And now Ødegaard to come forward, tries to prod it through for Xhaka. Arsenal win a throw. Partey will take, throws it down here for Ben White. White takes a look up, right flank at the moment, short for Ødegaard, turns, now it's with Jorginho. Kivior wants it, but Jorginho turns back to the right-hand side, looks for the run of Thomas Partey, who might get in if he did keep it in play, which he didn't. He was comfortable for the keeper. Well, the action areas are going to be pretty much similar in this second half that we saw in the first. It's a right-wing attack here from Arsenal and pretty much nothing else. And at the moment, Nottingham Forest seem relatively comfortable dealing with it.
Yeah, one thing that's been pretty evident during this game is the fact that normally you see Mikel Arteta on the touchline on his own and his coaches come up to him at little intervals, but Albert Steinberg has been stood next to him now for a good 5 minutes of the second half, just like obviously putting their brains together to try and work out how they can tweak something to try and turn the scoreline around.
Nottingham Forest have a throw in just in front of the technical area. In fact, it's an Arsenal throw. Trossard will leave it for Kivior. Kivior throws it down for Jorginho, and Jorginho immediately moves it from left to right as Ben White comes over the halfway line. White takes a look up, short for Jorginho, and now it's with Ben White again. Thomas Partey. Ben White, right flank, curled to the edge of the area. Jesus claims he was brought down and demands a penalty from officials and is frustrated, and he's going to be booked for his frustration for shouting at the referee. And Jesus picks up a 6th yellow card of the season.
Yeah, well, he has been pulled back, almost by the collar.
That's a penalty.
Yeah.
That is a penalty all day long. He's been pulled back by Joe Worrell by the neck.
Yes.
And it's, well, everything gets checked. How on earth...
It's ridiculous, because the referee obviously hasn't given it. VAR aren't going to overturn it because it's not clear and obvious, but he has grabbed Gabriel Jesus pretty much by the collar and ensured that he cannot run through to goal. So,
well, that one is a baffling one.
One of those where if the referee gives it, VAR isn't overturning it either. So, you know, make your own mind up.
Forest lose possession. Jesus is not happy with the situation at the moment, not happy to be booked as well. You can see his frustration. Mikel Arteta offers some encouragement to him. Arsenal take the throw. Might just need something like that for Arsenal to get a little more engaged here. Not seeing the incident again, just once on replay, but looked like a penalty to me. Looked like a foul. Foul inside the box equals penalty. Rules of the game. Ødegaard moves from right to left, central position at the moment, still coming. He's got Kivior free. Here is Jakob Kivior. Kivior to take a touch up against Morgan Gibbs-White, plays it back towards Gabriel. Forest defending well, but defending fairly deep at the minute. Here is Jorginho, and now it's with Ben White. White, central position, short for Jorginho. Jorginho turns away from Mangala. Now it's with Gabriel once more, over for Thomas Partey. Oh, Forest just inviting a little too much pressure here. This is Ødegaard through towards Jesus. Felipe is there to clear, and it's gone towards Danilo, who will knock it long for Awani, but it's gone straight to Ben White. White has it again. Forest can't get out meaningfully here. Every single time they clear, it's coming back at them a little quicker in this second period. Partey challenged by Danilo. Here is Ben White, flicks it forward, but to no one in particular, and the ball settles near the corner flag before Niakate comes, battles with Jesus. It's cleared away again. The two grow to ground. It's going to be an Arsenal throw. There is a little bit more energy about Arsenal all of a sudden. This is Kivior. Now it's with Gabriel. Kivior lets it run through. Trossard left-hand side. Kivior down the line. Tries to flick it back for Trossard, but can't find the Belgian. And Forest have it again, a triangle of passes between full-back and centre halves, and it's Worrell that has it at his feet, thumps it long, looks for Awani on this near side. He's beaten to it by Gabriel. And now it's with Ben White. And eventually Thomas Partey, central position, still has it. Xhaka. Jorginho. Right flank is Ødegaard. Saka calling for it. Ødegaard still has it. Saka infield for Jorginho. Short for Ben White. White back towards Jorginho. And when he helps win it back, and then Ben White sticks out a boot. And fouls run unloaded, is it? And that's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I really liked, you know, obviously we've got all the ball, we've got all the possession, but it just is a bit slow. It's just a bit passive. We're just sort of passing for passing's sake quite a lot of the time. It's going left to right as we try and eke out an opening, and I just think perhaps if we sped up the tempo a little bit and gave Forest something else to think about, maybe we'll actually be able to create a little bit of space.
Kieran Tierney warming up at the moment, Rob Holding as well. Here is Xhaka. And now Jorginho. Arsenal have possession. Kivior down the line for Trossard. Shows a bit of pace up against Worrell here. Left flank. Two to try and beat. Infield for Xhaka. Back towards Trossard. Trossard for Jorginho. A little bit of space here. Trossard. And then Jorginho tries to play it inside the penalty area. Forest have got players back and they will clear. Oh, then an awkward header from Jorginho. Looks to try and just shut out our knee. And just about does it.
Yep, just about there. Gabriel got away with that. It was, I think, again, could have been the sun in his eyes a little bit there because it was a very, very awkward header.
Ødegaard. Here is Thomas Partey. Now it's with Jorginho again. Partey once more. Jorginho again. Central position, 30 yards out. Kivior looks to curl one inside the penalty area. Wrong decision. Bad execution. Poor ball. Well, what is Mikel Arteta going to do here with it? We approached out. He's got to change. He's got to change it for me.
Absolutely, yeah. We've had nearly 15 minutes now this first half, reaching the hour mark, and yeah, it's still not working. You know, you look at it. Navas hasn't made like a big save to make so far. We've not really tested him too much. The game plan is they've come out the second half. The game plan is the same as the first half, which just isn't working. I think, you know, we need to have you know, perhaps some positional changes as well as personnel changes, because at the minute it's very flat. And I think, yeah, Eddie Nketiah is stripped and is ready to come on.
Well, it's not what I would have done, but Kieran Tierney's going to come on again, which is more orthodox thinking. Jesus just getting a little frustrated. Is it going to be Jesus? We'll find out. Eddie's definitely going to come on. Eddie Nketiah, who is one of those players that did play in that FA Cup 4-2 loss here back in January 2018, Arsene Wenger's final FA Cup match in charge of the Gunners. And Kieran Tierney also set to join in. Ben White flicks it forward, and Saka's on the move on the right-hand side, takes the shot on early. Good save from Keylor Navas. It was a tight angle, would have expected to make it, but a good stop nonetheless. Corner.
Yeah, Forrest caught napping there. Simple ball from White into Saka. And it's a good opportunity there, but it was the angle was pretty tight, like you say. He's done what he can. He's got corner out of it. We've looked pretty lively from corners so far in this game. We've had some pretty interesting ones, so I wonder if we've got something else up our sleeve here.
Yeah, seen something a little bit different from the Gunners. Changes not being made just yet, but Messrs Nketiah and Tierney ready. In comes the corner to the near post. It flicked on to the 6-yard area. Comes back out for Jorginho, and it's just wide of the target. Corner. Must have taken a deflection somewhere along the line. Forrest get a bit lucky there, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it took a deflection right from when he kicked it. I think the player who closed him down managed to get a foot on it and steer it wide. But yeah, it was actually much more orthodox corner, the way it came in and just begging to be headed there. In fact, it's a great defensive header there from Forrest, because otherwise Jesus is putting that in at the back stick.
Another corner, right-hand side, and Saka has got Ødegaard short if required, and Trossard again all alone on the edge of the penalty area. They've tried it twice, it's not quite worked. It's got a lot of space if they want to try it again. It's an in-swinger, and it's flicked on. It's towards Gabriel Jesus. Jesus, edge of the area, plays it back. Jorginho. Now it's with Ødegaard. We've got a Forest player down, but Arsenal are continuing to play on here. Here is Bukayo Saka. Curls it inside the area towards the back post, and it's nodded away by Joe Worrell, battling away with Jesus, and that's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Forest are frustrated there, because I think it was Jesus that made the challenge on the player who's down at the moment, and I think they're sort of arguing that could have been a second yellow potentially.
Here come the changes then. Jakub Kivior coming off, and Kieran Tierney coming on, and Granit Xhaka coming off. and Eddie Nketiah coming on. So Tierney left back. Well, it's going to be White and Gabriel centre halves. They could have put White at right back.
Yeah, they could have done. Yeah, interesting changes there. Arteta instantly came over to order Jorginho to run over to him, and he's passed on some lymph instructions to him. So I think he's getting him to pass them around the team now. So it's definitely, it looks like it could well be a positional tweak or two here.
Just a break in play here. Well, Granit Xhaka has had a really good campaign for Arsenal. He has starred in that further forward role on the left-hand side. He's weighed in with some 5 Premier League goals, and to a certain extent, more importantly, 7 assists in the Premier League. It's been a fantastic return in a new position for him. I know there's been newspaper reports to suggest he's going to be leaving Arsenal, but there will certainly be a place for him here if he does decide to stay. So it looks like it's going to be 2 up top. It's going to be Tierney left-hand side. It's going to be Partey right at the back. Almost an orthodox 4-4-2 here with Saka right winger and Trossard left winger. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise to see Granit come off. I mean, looking at the stats, he's just touched the ball 26 times all game, which just goes to show that he was completely...
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, you think he's normally so involved in the game, but yeah, he's been so peripheral this time, and that's just, I think it's a conscious effort. It's the fact that we decided to keep the ball on the other side of the pitch to him.
Jesus chasing this one down. Keylor Navas will punt it long. Gabriel underneath this one, turns it back towards Ben White, over the head of Ben White, but Thomas Partey collects over on that right-hand side. 27 minutes to go. Manchester City supporters getting ready to celebrate a title, and Arsenal can get 2. Here is Saka, and now it's with Jorginho. Over towards Gabriel. Gabriel has got Tierney hugging that touchline now. Oh, Trossard, that's poor. And Awani is looking to show his pace, but Gabriel gets there ahead of Awani. Jorginho over the halfway line. Still Arsenal probe. Where is that penetration? Where is that inspiration, that quality that we've seen for much of this season? Trossard, central position. He's got Tierney to his left, threads it through for Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah's touch is poor, but he battles with Felipe well. Forest have it here with Mangala, who's pulled back. That's a free kick, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, definite free kick there. I think Eddie was just desperate to try and get the ball back. I mean, as you look at this game, I think if we can get the first goal, then suddenly it gets very, very nervy around here. They obviously know that, you know, a win keeps them up, but at the same point, a point against a team second in the league isn't the worst thing in the world. So they probably would have come targeting a point for us. So I think, yeah, suddenly then they don't want to slip away. So I just think, yeah, if we can pull one back, I think the whole complexion of not only the game but the atmosphere changes.
Yeah, I think so. That is very true. Forest players struggling at the moment, getting a little bit of treatment. Can't quite see who it is over on that far side. Surrounded by physios at the moment. Just about getting to his feet. Is it Danilo? Looks like he's going to be okay to continue. It is indeed the Forest number 28. Well, they haven't managed a clean sheet in the last 7 home Forest since a 1-0 win against Leeds back on the 5th of Feb. Looks like they are preparing to make a change as well, potentially here in Nottingham Forest. Cheku Kouyate is about to come on. Certainly stripped and ready. The former Anderlecht and West Ham player scored his first ever goal in England against Arsenal in his West Ham days, a 2-1 home defeat back in December 14. Oh, mistake here. Morgan Gibbs-White might be in here for another for Forest. He's hit the side netting. That was a big, big chance for Nottingham Forest, spurned by their creator-in-chief.
Yeah, that's a real let-off there. I don't know what we're doing, sort of messing around at the back. Ben White gets sort of caught on the ball. it's not the best. Well, to be fair, it's not really Ben's fault. It's a very over enthusiastic pass, shall we say, from Thomas Partey that he can't control. Lets Gibbs White in. He's tried to put it in the near post. I just think if he'd actually gone to the far, it could have been could well have been 2-0 to Forest.
Arsenal come again. Ødegaard out-jumped. This is Jorginho. Now it's with Saka over on the right-hand side. Quarter of the fixture remaining. Quarter of the fixture to make Manchester City have to get a result tomorrow. And for Forest, a quarter of the fixture to make sure of their Premier League status for the 23-24 campaign. Tierney, left-hand side, gets a good-looking ball in, cleared away, only as far as Jorginho, who controls and then just dabs it down for Partey. Now it's with Ødegaard. Saka, it's been well marshalled by a combination of two players more often than not. Cleared away by Niakate. Here is Thomas Partey. And now he's with Jorginho once again. Here is Gabriel. Partey. Saka, right-hand side. Twist and a turn against Danilo. Can't get any space ahead of him. Here is Trossard. Back towards Partey. Decent-looking ball in again, but it's cleared away by Felipe. Oh, and then Gabriel. And eventually the shot's just over from Jorginho. Gabriel has just collided really there with a Forest player. I can't quite see who's down, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it. It popped up for Jorginho, who let fly Aston Villa style, but on this occasion it was just wide, and it's Gibbs White who's down.
Yeah, it was a proper coming together there. It was a real clattering with Gabriel that's left him down. But yeah, and then referee allowed the play to continue, and yeah, Jorginho with actually a strike that's actually not that far away at all, nearly finding the top corner there.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the challenge here. Gibbs White, he's not really looking, and he's just run straight into Gabriel. And let's face it, in terms of height and weight here, Gabriel versus Gibbs White, there's only ever going to be one winner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a complete accidental collision. You can see why the referees allowed play to continue, but yeah, it was more the fact that sort of Forest stood still and allowed Jorginho to get that shot off that was fractions away.
Fabio Vieira on. Trossard off. What is the instruction here for Fabio Vieira? Where is he going to play? Gibbs White is still down. Well, Arsenal fans going through their full repertoire at the moment. Over to our right, it's been another healthy sellout contingent from the Gunners away fans, who are making their presence felt here. Gibbs White is back up on his feet, a bit winded maybe, but he's going to be okay to continue. 20 minutes remaining. Nottingham Forest are close, Manchester City are close. We're going to restart with a goal kick after that shot from Jorginho went just wide. Joe Worrell is going to take, of course. He played in and was sent off in that 4-2 home win over Arsenal in the FA Cup back in January 2018 that we referenced before. Great noise from the Forest fans now. They really believe, and they've always believed in fairness. Even earlier on this season when they were in last place, they had a shocking start to the campaign. It didn't go right at all. They struggled from the get-go. They won only one of their first 11, but here they come again with Renan Lodi. That the shot is wide of the target.
Yeah, Forest just getting in again there. Nothing really too much for Aaron Ramsdale to worry about, but again, it just goes, and another Forest player is on the ground now.
It's Gibbs White again, isn't it?
Yeah, he's gonna have to. I think he's gonna have to come off, isn't he?
Oh no, it's Danilo. I beg your pardon.
Yeah,
it's not Gibbs White. It's Danilo.
Yeah,
so Danilo, who was injured previously, wasn't he? He's going to come off.
Yeah.
And it's Kouyaté who's going to come on. Aside from Palace in the summer, and prior to that at West Ham, had 4 years apiece at the two London clubs, a Senegalese international who made his name at Anderlecht before coming to these shores. Beato is on, and Danilo off. 18 minutes remaining. Not really had that much football in the last 5, so we might get a few minutes of added on time. Arsenal come forward again. Ben White, central position. Now it's with Gabriel. Gabriel plays it forward for Fabio Vieira. Looks for Kieran Tierney on the overlap. Tierney will play it to the edge of the penalty area. Jesus has it back towards Tierney. Tierney on that right, on the left-hand side on his right foot. Then plays it back for Jesus. Jesus will play it back. Now it's with Gabriel. Here is Jorginho. There just looks a lot more balance with Tierney on the pitch, and certainly when he gets the ball, he offers something for Arsenal.
Absolutely, and straight away you can see now we're actually going on either flank now. We're actually, attacking the left as well as the right, and I think that's going to give Forest something else to think about.
Jesus left-hand side. Tierney wanted it back. Jesus with a fancy footwork looks for Jorginho, who will play it back towards Ben White. Here is Thomas Partey. Partey towards Nketiah. Now it's with Ødegaard back out towards Saka. Saka right-hand side back for Ødegaard. Good pressure from Arsenal. Looks to lift it inside the area towards Jesus. It's cleared away by Aurier. And then from Kouyaté towards Awoniyi, claiming handball against the big striker. That's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. There is a bit of urgency, I think. They're trying to make something happen, the Gunners. As Arsenal have it once more over on that right flank. Played towards Eddie Nketiah. Touch outside of the area now. Now it's with Thomas Partey. Here is Ødegaard. Arsenal don't want to go out with a whimper. Ødegaard back for Gabriel. Gabriel coming forward. Centre left. Plays it towards Kieran Tierney. 3 wait inside the penalty area. Tierney for Jesus back to goal. Can he knock it back towards Tierney, edge of the penalty area? Not quite. Tierney tries to win it back. Yates goes down. Referee doesn't give the free kick first time around, but he does second time around.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of frustration creeping in there. I think we're desperately trying to win the ball back. Forest are going down at every opportunity, there's no doubt about that, but I think Tierney gives them the opportunity there to just collapse on the floor and break up the play and kill a bit of time, and it's exactly what Forest want. They're 16 minutes away from the most crucial win of the season.
Yeah, it would be exactly that. It would be the win that keeps them in the Premier League. Long for Gibbs-White to challenge with Fabio Vieira. That's going to be a Nottingham Forest throw. Forest will move to 37 points. They will be 6 clear of the relegation zone. Leeds United have got a game in hand. They play tomorrow against West Ham, but even if they would win that, Everton would go into the bottom 3, and they are 4 points behind Nottingham Forest and have only got next weekend's fixture to play. So however you look at it, Forest know a win will keep them up. Leicester are 7 points behind Forest with 2 games to play, and then it will be 2 of 3, Everton, Leeds or Leicester, to join Southampton in the Championship next season. 15 minutes remaining here. Nottingham Forest, who haven't got a great record in the final 15 minutes of a campaign. They've conceded some 17 times, more than any other team this season in the top flight, but they've got an attacking free kick here on the right-hand side, which Morgan Gibbs-White gets ready to take. Right flank, right-footed, and it comes inside the penalty area, cleared to the left-hand side. Renan Lodi will go and collect, but the referee has blown and Arsenal have got a free kick. Was that offside or a bit of a push inside the penalty area?
I think the referee's indicating it was a push, yeah. So, yeah, it gives us an opportunity now to get the ball back and try and attack, because Forest look like they're going to also make a couple of changes as well. But yeah, time's running out for us to try and turn this around.
Here is Partey. Now it's with Bukayo Saka. Saka against Renan Lodi. Renan Lodi just jockeys him a little, forces him back to Thomas Partey. Now it's with Ben White. Here is Gabriel. Too many touches from the centre halves and the defensive midfielders for Arsenal. Not enough for the attacking talent further up the pitch. A low block from Forest. Looks like it's going to be enough to secure a narrow 1-0 win over the side that looks to be destined to be second in the Premier League. Mangala, this is Kouyaté towards Awoniyi. Back towards Renan Lodi, who plays it long for Gibbs White, who looks to try and turn. Was he caught by Gabriel? That's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card as well. And the two square up for a second. The referee might have to get involved here. Gabriel gets the caution. Morgan Gibbs White, for some unknown reason, decides to take it a little bit further, and there's a bit of a melee inside the Arsenal half here as the two sets of players are ushered away from each other. Double switch for Forest is coming. Gibbs White made the challenge, and then he's pulled back by Gabriel, and there's a bit of a swing out maybe from both players, and then I want to say a nose-to-nose confrontation, but Gabriel's probably 3, maybe even 4 inches taller.
Yeah, just a bit, but it just goes to show that the frustration is just creeping into us. You know, Gabriel's obviously done that. We've seen Bukayo in the first half be a little bit frustrated. Martin Odegaard a couple of minutes ago was sort of waving his arms around with the referee, and he's normally one of the coolest people on the pitch. So, yeah, I think you can tell that this performance is pretty frustrating. You can tell by the body language of our players. A lot of them standing hands on hips, looking at each other. It doesn't bode well for a team that needs to go and get 2 goals to try and stay in this title race, albeit how slim those chances are.
Brennan Johnson is coming on, Awani is coming off, and we're also going to see Willy Boly come on here, and it's Felipe coming off for Forest. A double switch with 12 minutes remaining. Arsenal haven't had a player sent off this season. There's always a lot talked about Arsenal's disciplinary record, and it hasn't been great, as we know, in the Premier League era, and that dribbled through into Mikel Arteta's reign for the first few years, but Gunners been much better on that front this term. Forest haven't had a player sent off for that matter either. Free kick eventually taken. Renan Lodi inside the Arsenal penalty area, nodded down, and then cleared away towards Fabio Vieira. Aurier is there, does well, indulges in some ball juggling skills and gets forward on the right-hand side. Thinks about the cross, but Fabio Vieira blocks it, and the Portuguese will punt it long towards Eddie Nketiah. Here is Gabriel Jesus, battles with Piarte. Now it's with Yates to come forward over on the right-hand side. Yates, does he win a throw? Yes, he does. Kieran Tierney suggesting that it ricochet back off the Forest number 22, but the referee and the assistant decide to give Forest the throw, and the seconds are ticking away here. 10 minutes remaining. Yates is acting as cheerleader at every opportunity he can. Forest fans don't need a second invitation to turn on the noise. Gibbs White's going to leave the throw. Niakate is going to go long. Long inside the 6-yard box. It's nodded away. It hits the referee. And Arsenal wanted to counter, but the referee is going to halt play. I think the Forest players are suggesting there might have been an infringement in the penalty area, aren't they?
Looks like it, yeah. A lot of discussion going on. Brennan Johnson's in the sort of thick of it. Yates as well. Yeah, referee's just keen to get on with it.
Partey. Now it's with Ben White. Arsenal come forward. Thomas Partey once more over to the right-hand side, and Saka. It's a poor ball from Partey, and that's going to be a free kick. Saka is a little late on Renan Lodi. He's going to take his time here to clutch an ankle and roll around a little bit.
Yeah, there's no, again, not malicious at all. It's not the rolling around and theatrics are not necessary for that challenge. It wasn't too bad at all. He's barely touched him, but you think that he's stamped on his ankle. I mean, we're very much trying to speed this up a bit, but you know, Forest are doing everything they can to just make this more disjointed, more tricky for us, and preventing us from actually getting any period of possession, which we've not had now for a while.
Free kick taken. It's towards Gibbs White, who mistimes the jump, and it bounces through towards Ramsdale. 8.5 minutes remaining here. Manchester City will lift the Premier League title for a third successive season if they can, or if Arsenal fail to turn this around with the time remaining. It just doesn't look on. Hope springs eternal, and a goal can change games very quickly. Gabriel for Kieran Tierney. And Tierney plays it back for Gabriel. Shadows of the Giants stand away to our left behind the goal have stretched nearly to the opposite end of the pitch now. Arsenal fans still bathed in sunshine. Here is Ødegaard. Gabriel. Clipped over to the right-hand side, and Thomas Partey. Back towards Ben White, central position, 40 yards out. Prods it over towards Tierney on the left flank. Tierney against Aurier. Can he get the cross in? Good block from Aurier. That's going to be a corner. Oh, well, it's not been given. It's a goal kick. Tierney can't believe it. Not getting anything at the moment.
No, nothing's falling for us at all at the minute. We've had a sort of 10-minute spell. We've not really put any pressure on Forest. They've not allowed us to for various methods. And yeah, it's just time's ticking away, and it's looking pretty frustrating.
Long punt forwards here by Forest. Here is Fabio Vieira. Not the way that Arsenal wanted to end the season, but look, we'll be with you for the game against Wolves. We've got plenty of special guests lined up for you at the Emirates. Plenty to talk about. Be good fun as well. Make sure you join us an hour before kick-off for the final game of the season. Eddie and Nick will be on hand, and there'll be a bit of a celebration on the day. But for the final away fixture, looks like it is going to end in defeat. 7 minutes remaining. Forest look very comfortable, but Eddie and Ketcher trying to change their mindset. Now it's with Gabriel towards Fabio Vieira. Back for Kieran Tierney towards Eddie and Ketcher again, but Willy Bolly does well. He loses out to Fabio Vieira. Can he get the cross? And it's towards the far post. Good claim from Keller Navas.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen Fabio Vieira actually in an attacking sense there. He's done pretty well. It's a decent cross, but again, it's quite comfortable really for Navas just to come and claim that one. There wasn't really much pressure on him at all. But it's at least it's something. We know we're having to start again pretty much. We've barely had an attack for the past sort of 10 minutes. So it's 5 minutes to go. The Forest fans are going to be pretty tense. The Forest players are going to be pretty tense. They're nearly there, but we've got to put more pressure on them in these final 5 minutes.
Forest fans not happy. Arsenal have got a free kick. Ødegaard wants to take it quickly. Not allowed to. We've still got an Arsenal player down. Who is it?
Fabio Vieira.
Vieira, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Caught, didn't he? It was an awkward one on his shoulder, on his blind side. He didn't really realise the challenge was going to come in. Ben White for Arsenal. Thomas Partey. Forward towards Eddie and Ketcher, who's popped up on the right wing, as many have over the course of this fixture. Forest are close. White for Gabriel, back towards Jorginho. Strides forward, right-hand side, Ødegaard to recycle. Partey coming forward. 4 minutes remaining. Gabriel, there is still no way through. Forest have defended in numbers and defended well. This is Jorginho. There is space for Ødegaard, right-hand side. Here he is, back towards Partey. Partey for Ben White. Forest chasing everything down at the moment. Arsenal trying to find a way through. Here is Jorginho again. Now it's with Gabriel. Well, they probe and probe away. Saka plays it infield. Jesus has it back towards Saka. It's on his left side. Brought down inside the area. No. Forest will aim to clear. They knock it down the line. Brennan Johnson knocks it out of play. That's going to be a throw into Arsenal. Well, Steve Cooper can't believe it.
Yeah, it looked pretty obvious to me.
Looked pretty obvious to me. It's an Arsenal throw, and he's a yard away, and we're 50.
Yeah, and he's desperate for everything at the minute now. They're so close to getting what they want, and at the minute, it has turned. We're the only team attacking again.
Tierney to launch a ball inside the penalty area. Yates loses out to Jorginho, who plays it forward for Jesus. Flag stays down, and then he slips on contact, and that sums up Arsenal's day.
Exactly. That typifies our day there. Just Jesus gets into the box, promising position, slips over, ball goes out for a goal kick, move breaks down, and again we don't have anything to show for all the possession and territory.
Navas waits, not taking the goal kicks at the moment. Worrell charged with that responsibility. Gibbs-White and Gabriel go for the same ball. Gabriel wins it. Now it's with Thomas Partey. And Gabriel again over the halfway line. Ben White moves forward, right-hand side. Plays it further right for Bukayo Saka. He's up against Renan Lodi again. Plays it infield for Partey, who leaves it for Ødegaard. Ødegaard shifts it for Gabriel. Gabriel back for Jorginho. Too many sideways passes here for Arsenal. Ben White to the right-hand flank, and Partey infield for Ødegaard. Flicks it towards Bukayo Saka, and then Ødegaard, and then Nketiah, who will take it on. Good save, Keylor Navas. It's a free kick to Nottingham Forest. I don't really think it should be, but it is.
No, again, it's another soft one. It's another player just gone down clutching his ankle. Yates this time, I think it is.
Nothing wrong with him.
No, I think he's absolutely fine. But again, just, you go back to the, it's not the greatest ball there for Martin. He could easily be picking out Saka of his quality there to keep the move going, but gives Forest a chance to come in and win the foul. And we've had 81% possession in this second half. We've only managed 3 shots, which is exactly the same as Forest, which just it just sums it up really, isn't it? Forest have taken their chance. The one real sight of goal they've had, and we've not really created a sight of goal.
No, it's extraordinary possession stats that you rattle off there. Something you would expect at least a goal to come from, but it hasn't been that way. Gibbs-White, edge of the Arsenal penalty area, still dancing forward, gets inside the box, still going. Good effort, straight at Ramsdale. And Arsenal roll it out, and the 90 is nearly up. And Jesus, challenged by Morgan Gibbs-White, who's had a very, very good game. He's a very good footballer, isn't he?
Very good, really good feet there to create the chance. He sort of wriggled around 2 or 3 defenders, managed to get the shot off, and he's driving forward. But there are 7 minutes stoppage time supposed to be announced, so still. What is it
today? Every single game today has had about 8 or 9, 10 minutes.
Yep.
We've gone back to the World Cup. Here is Tierney. Gets a low ball in. Has the ball cross the line? Yes. 81.4% possession for Arsenal. 663 passes to 151. Accurate passes 590 to 78 from Forest. Passing accuracy 89% to 51.7. Passes in the opposition half 499 to Forest 102. But all those metrics count for naught if you can't score. Arsenal have it again. A toothless display in the final third, really. We've had a minute of the added on. Now it's with Ødegaard. Fabio Vieira gets in the way. This is Partey. Prods it forward. Still can't find Saka. Renan Lodi to go long. And Morgan Gibbs-White is on the move. And he's up against Ben White here. In fact, it's Brennan Johnson, I beg your pardon, who shoves Ben White over. And it's a free kick to Arsenal.
Yeah, Forest just putting all hands to the pump now to try and see this out. There were 8 players, I think, in the box there as we were trying to carve something out, and it just goes to show how difficult it is. It's so congested in that penalty area. They almost just need someone just take a strike, just put your foot through it, see where it ends up, because we've been trying to break this down now for 92 minutes and we've still not managed to find a way to get a clear sight of Keylor Navas' goal.
Here is Jorginho. Now it's with Tierney and Gabriel to curl inside the box. It's going to bounce through, and Keylor Navas drops to the ground and waits. And wastes a second or two. 4.5 minutes remaining. And Navas waits a little bit longer. Referee says get on with it. Big punt forward, looking for Gibbs-White, who's almost playing as a second striker now, further forward than he was earlier. Just off Johnson, who's the main man through the middle. Arsenal throw, Tierney takes, Gabriel. Partey. Here is Ødegaard. Towards Ben White. Crossfield ball looking for Tierney, who might get in round the back. That's going to be a goal kick. Cleverly done or luckily done, I guess it doesn't matter for Morier.
No, not at all. I put it in the clever camp, to be honest. I think he knew that Tierney was just going to stand there, and he just played the ball against him, got the goal kick. Gives him a chance to shave another 45 seconds to a minute off the clock. And yeah, as they edge closer and closer to safety.
Sign from Villarreal, former Tottenham player, of course. Title winner at Paris Saint-Germain. And set to be on the winning side against Arsenal for just the third time in his career, having once played for PSG against the Gunners in the Champions League some 7 years ago. Gabriel plays it back, Ramsdale has it, and we have got 3 minutes remaining here of the added-on 7 at the City ground at the end of Arsenal's final away fixture of what has been a good season, an excellent season in many ways, but the last few weeks haven't been great. White. Jorginho. Here's Gabriel. Back towards Jorginho once more. Fabio Vieira, right-hand side. Towards Ødegaard. Ødegaard looks to get the shot away, but it's wide of the target. And it's a goal kick. Haven't seen that many efforts from that sort of range, have we?
No, that's probably the first. Like I was saying, it just got, you know, I don't know why earlier people like Ødegaard or whatever weren't just taking a sort of pot shot, a goal from 25 yards and just seeing what happens with it, because, you know, the plan to try and play through Forest isn't really working, so why not try something a little bit different?
Navas and Worrell between them, get ready to take this goal kick, and it will be Worrell to send it spinning into the early evening blue sky here in Nottingham. Gabriel wins the header, Kouyaté flicks it forward, Brennan Johnson on the move, Ben White will play it back towards Ramsdale, Ramsdale plays it forward, Kouyaté closes down Thomas Partey, and now it's with Ramsdale once again, and dribbles outside of his own penalty area. Well, whistles from the Forest fans, but there's still over a minute remaining here. This is Ben White. Now it's with Thomas Partey, through towards Jorginho. There might be danger here. The layoff from Jesus doesn't quite come off. It's cleared by Forest, only as far as Partey again. Arsenal come forward for the umpteenth time, but the attacks have not been dangerous by and large. Here is Ben White. Left-hand side is Fabio Vieira. Comes back in field and then outside of the left boot, plays it back towards Jorginho. Here is Ødegaard for Saka. The layoff to the right-hand side. Saka has it again. Plenty of black shirts inside the penalty area. It's come towards the far post, but Keylor Navas comes and claims. And that is a cheer as if they've scored.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you know, a cheer if they scored. I think we could have played all day today, and I don't think we would have scored. It's just been one of those games for us where we just haven't had a clear sight of goal. Everything we've tried hasn't come off. The passing hasn't been slick enough. The tempo for me hasn't been quick enough. And yeah, it's just Forest just that defence has been too hard to break down, and very, very frustrating afternoon.
Keylor Navas gets a bit of treatment. Joe Worrell is down as well. Arsenal players pretty much to a man, stand around, hands on hip. There's no racing over to speak to Mikel Arteta here. The race is run for the Gunners, and Arsenal have performed brilliantly for the vast majority of this season. They've come up short against a Manchester City side that can end up winning the treble of the Premier League, the Champions League and the FA Cup. The first leg of that treble will be in the bag in the next few seconds, as Arsenal failed to beat Nottingham Forest here, and there's no shame in coming second to such a talented and powerful side as Manchester City. But it is a little bit of a disappointment to see the Gunners not just take it to the final few games of the season, given how well Arsenal played. I always feel Arsenal deserve that, but unfortunately the performances haven't been as good, haven't been at the standard that Mikel Arteta demands and has set. And this is it, when the performances go up and their expectation goes up, we demand more from those players. And today, a little bit like Brighton, not maybe as bad as Brighton, but this has been an off day. And we'll have the Wolves to enjoy these players, the Wolves game to enjoy these players at the Emirates next weekend. But look, the inevitable has maybe just come a day early.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, sadly, it's just, you know, obviously it was a very, very slim chance. We just still wanted to bounce back from the Brighton game, really, and get a winning feeling again. And yeah, I mean, it just hasn't happened today. It just hasn't really worked for us at all.
That is full time, and the scoreline means that Nottingham Forest retain their Premier League status. It has been an almighty effort from Steve Cooper's side. A goal from Awani, a wonderful finish after Morgan Gibbs-White had set the striker through, dinked over Aaron Ramsdale. The Gunners weren't at their best today. They had all of the ball, but they couldn't find a way through. It wasn't as if there was chance after chance after chance. Arsenal not good enough. It means that Forest stay up. It means that Manchester City are champions. It means that Arsenal's season is over. But as we've just been highlighting, Jonathan, it's been a very good season nonetheless.
Oh, absolutely. The past few weeks shouldn't really detract from what an incredible season this was. We wanted to get Champions League at the end of this season. We've got it with weeks and weeks to spare. The fact that we were going against a juggernaut like Manchester City for the title, we pushed them so far. But in the end, sadly, we've just run out of steam the last 4 or 5 weeks. But that shouldn't detract from what we've achieved this season. And I think over